beyond ecstatic to have this amazing group with us today. It's the Polynesian Club of Fresno, No Te Here Ote Hiroa, for the love of culture. And Linda Kuma is here, the founder, and her beautiful dancers. And we are ready to bring you love and joy from the islands. Aloha.
Aloha. This is Linda Kuma with the Polynesian Club of Fresno, and I brought our dancers today to dance for you. For the first number, we're going to do an otea from the island of Tahiti, and the name of it is Buyer. For our next number, we'll be going to the island of Hawaii for a song called The Hapa Haole Girl of My Dreams.
I took her hand on the sand down at Waikiki, under the palm trees, 'neath the stars above. I looked into her eyes as the tourists were strolling by, and we danced as the old Hawaiian music filled the air. Hold me, hold me, hold me tight, my lili'ue. Kiss me one more time, e honi honi mai nei. My heart skipped a beat that night upon the beach, for I'm in love with the Hapa Haole girl of my dreams. on the sand down at Waikiki, under the palm trees, neath the stars above. I looked into her eyes as the tourists were strolling by, and we danced as the old Hawaiian music filled the air. Hold me, hold me, hold me tight, my lili'ue. Kiss me one more time. Te honi honi mai nei, te honi honi mai nei. My heart skipped a beat that night upon the beach, for I'm in love with the Hopaholic girl of my dreams. Oh yeah, I'm in love with the Hopaholic girl of my dreams. One more time, I'm in love with the Hopaholic girl of my dreams.
Thank you. Our next number will be a song made popular by the movie Moana. It's called Listen to the Drums.
Lue, 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 lue.
Yau. Eh, ko manino to kolu. Toi hoi mai lava ke manino.
Kata kata mai, hihiva mai, kalong kini pate, lue lue. Kata kata mai, hihiva mai, kalong kini pate, lue lue. Kemana tua, hangayana, te lue lue malohi, inahiva. Kemana tua, hangayana, te huhut malie, inahiva. Haula katao,
Kukuma tolima.
haula katao,
Hautahi iwa.
haula katao,
Kukuma tolima.
haula katao.
Kukua te tangata e hoa yau.
Tamila, tamila,
Eh, ko manino to kolu.
tamila, tamila.
Toi hoi mai lava ke manino.
Kata kata mai, hihiva mai, kalong kini pate, lue lue. Kata kata mai, hihiva mai, kalong kini pate, lue lue.
Thank you very much. For our next number, we'll be bringing our boys back so that they can show you how the Samoans take care of mosquitoes. This is the Samoan slap dance.
Avenai o lima funga ilunga Pamatala maloa lima sina ia ia Fa ape ma fetu fa pe a malela Sulungia maloa e masina Se e maia Se mai loa Atat mai dei Atat mai loa Alu mai letoa It's a fear my moa No what's new Fele Samoa toa Siva maia Lala maia ta maia Awalele tele O swai lo fefe Teine ea o e O la ufele Siva mai la ia Mae pese Siva mai la ia Mae pese
Thank you very much. For our last number, we'll be taking you to that island of Tahiti for the grass skirt dance or the otea.
a little piece of the islands. We want you to understand that the different islands are different languages and different cultures, but they're all intertwined in their heart. But they're not the same islands, and they're not the same language. If Linda, if you can tell us a little bit about that before these dancers go.
My husband was born and raised in Tonga, and he went to school in Hawaii at the Church College of Hawaii. Now it's called BYU University, but in the late 60s and 70s, it was called the Church College of Hawaii. He went to school there, and I was going to school at UH, and we met and married. And then in 1971, we moved here to Fresno. And we have been keeping alive the culture since that time here in Fresno, California.
I am fascinated, and I am just in love that they come from one particular island of Tonga now. I know, not Samoa. I remember they had a lot of Samoan dancers, and they would bring a lot of Samoan dancers and fire dancers over with them. But to keep all the islands alive was really what, to me, captured, you know, my interest and my love. You know, their ohana, their family, brings in other cultures to dance with them. You don't have to be of those different islands to come and dance with them. Their schools are 22 schools wide here in Fresno County, and they are worldwide competition winners and been invited to many places in the world. But we are so blessed to have them here in Fresno. And these amazing dancers, as you saw, their love for the dance is really something to be respected. They're very young. They are professionals. They come here from their jobs. They come here from their schools, from their midterms, and take the time to give this love to you. So I hope you enjoyed this show today, and we'll be spending a little bit of time talking to Linda in a few minutes.
Thank you.
It is such a pleasure to be here with you again with Diamonds and Pearls with Dina Zamora. Today I have the pleasure again of inviting Linda Kuma, the Polynesian Club of Fresno, No Te Here o Te Hiroa, which is for the love of culture. And we are just ecstatic to have her here. 35 years ago, I had the privilege of dancing with her and her family, and I have not seen her for 35 years.
That's right.
Linda, it is just amazing what you have built since 1972. You and your family started practicing in a garage, and now you have 2 schools here in Fresno County, and you're world renowned. But you have won competitions. You work privately for organizations that hire you, but you also do volunteer work. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Anybody that needs help, if it's something that benefits the community, we're so open to helping them. We also go to schools and tell stories and legends. Our students perform at so many school functions and carnivals, and we take children as well as adults to dance there.
And you know,
we're so happy to do it.
You know, I know that this organization was started on love. You started with your children, you started with the people in the community, neighbors. You know, I met you when I was playing my guitar on stage, and I saw your dancers dance, Come In With Fire, and I was mesmerized by you. And I remember telling myself, I want to do this. And I said it out loud, and you were standing next to me, and that's how you recruited me. It was a no-brainer when you asked me to come on board. I was not sure if I could do the same moves that everybody was doing, but you took me under your wing, me being of Mexican descent and not even close to the Polynesian islands, and you took me as your own, and that's something that makes this country great. You know, we're filming in U.S., and there's been so much division all over the world as how they view us, and when I look at organizations like yours, you have young women and young men of all cultures of all languages, and they come together and they give love through dance. And I'm really in love with the culture because of the embracing, and because of the teaching and the inclusion of the love of dance. Please tell us about some of your future events, and tell us about some of the exciting things that are happening with the Polynesian Club of Fresno.
Well, the next thing that we have is going to be this month, which is October. We do it every year. It's called Clovis Fest, and it's a street fair. And we build a little village, and you can go there, you can take your children and teach them we teach them to blow a shell, and they can practice hula, they can learn dance steps with the boys, poi balls. I love teaching children about Polynesians. It's like meet a new culture. It's probably the only culture in the world that you don't have to be born into it, because it's strictly an affair of your heart.
But the love of dance and the love of song and the love of being together with their families, of celebration is, you know, they took whatever was around them in this paradise of Polynesia, and yet we get to have it here in Fresno.
It's so funny. You know that we were at a competition one day, and one of the judges came up to me and asked me, "What island is Fresno?" Because at that time we took almost 200 dancers, and he couldn't believe it. He thought that it was probably an island that we had come from. It was so funny. And you know, here there's very few, there was very few. Recently there's been an influx of Samoans into Fresno.
Interesting. I do know that when I danced with you 35 years ago, you were bringing in a lot of dancers that were male dancers, and they were from the island of Samoa, and they were going to college.
That's right.
And they got to benefit from being in this group, but also getting an education, because Samoa is an interesting place. I mean, maybe you could tell us about how there's Samoa and then there's American Samoa. Can you explain to us?
Well, Samoa is a protectorate of America. And the Samoans there, they can travel without passports, I believe, and come here, and a lot have come. And the whole world loves Samoan boys because they're some great football players.
Yes, Fresno State.
Fresno State always has many.
I think it's a beautiful example of how, you know, bringing in and meshing in cultures from different parts of the world, in this case Samoa, influences this country, and you know, they enhance this country. They don't come to take from this country, but they come to give to this country.
Absolutely.
Because Fresno State has had some really good teams because of these young men.
There's also Tongans there.
Amazing.
Tongans and Samoans, and some Hawaiians also.
And you know, Linda, I know that you met your husband and you fell in love with the culture. Can you tell us a little bit about how you met?
He was a busboy in a restaurant that we went to every Thursday. It was a certain dish that they made, and we'd go there and eat, and he was the busboy, and that's when I met him.
And where were you? What city?
I was living in Honolulu, Hawaii. I was going to school there and working.
Amazing. What year, do you remember what year you met?
Pardon?
What year did you meet?
1969.
Wow, I was 3 years old. And you married soon after?
We married about a year and a half later.
Amazing. And when did you decide to come to Fresno?
In 1971.
Your world traveled and your world, you know, respected and honored, but this is your home. You love Fresno. You've made Fresno your home. Your children are here.
Yes, and you know, my husband, he was so sad and lonely when we came. He tried to gather every person that he could. He would find them, he'd look for them, he'd bring them home. If I told you how many people had lived with us in our lifetime, you'd never believe me. He would find people and just bring them to include them into our family. He was always looking for what he had in the islands. And I think that's the way that he actually started, you know, this group, bringing people around us. And
You know, when I met you, I was about 16 or so. You know, we had come from another country. We had learned English maybe 5 years prior, and we were not assimilated really yet into this country. And who knew that the culture that was going to take us in was your culture, the Polynesian culture. And I'm thinking, if this is America, I want everything to do with it. And you know, you fed us and you loved us, and you took us traveling places like San Francisco, and you know, these are kids like me that had nothing. They're ghetto kids. We were not exposed. We didn't really have a TV until we were like 19, and we're in 5-star hotels, and we're performing for really amazing guests, and our eyes are being opened, and you're giving us the confidence to perform, the confidence to feel that we could do anything. We can go to school, we can dance, and you know, we can just accomplish anything. I got a lot of my, I think, self-esteem and a lot of my drive to go on and do what I wanted to do because of the love that you have shared with us.
Thank you.
And
you know, I think it's so empowering. And in our group, sometimes we get children that are broken, and sometimes, a lot of times we get children that misbehave, but everybody gets fixed up in our group. I mean, it's just, everybody needs a place to belong.
I see that.
Where they feel like they are a part of something. And for us, it really works.
Absolutely. You know, Linda, I was thinking about what could I bring you? What could I give you as a gift? You know, what can I inspire you with? And it was kind of pretty difficult because, you know, with the kind of love and the kind of culture that you have surrounded yourself with and the blessings from God, I said, what can I give this woman that she already doesn't have? And so I want to give you a memory. I brought you a memory.
Oh, wow.
It's hidden away. Let me get to it. And I want you to tell us about this memory. This is going to be your gift for today.
Wow. This is a really old picture.
Tell us about it. Maybe you could turn it around and show
This
everybody.
picture was at this time, which was the 80s,
1981.
1981.
Yes.
This is the picture. This is my husband,
Yes.
Kole Kuma.
Yes.
And this was Joey, one of the members of our band, and my brother-in-law, and my daughter.
Yes.
Here she's 12. but
Yes.
she's in her 40s now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and this is you.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
Marlene, all these girls that, this girl dances with us. This girl has come back to dance before. This girl dances. Just,
If you go on the website, the Polynesian Club of Fresno, the first picture you will see on the website is that picture. And I remember when you found me 3 years ago on social media, because you had stayed in touch with all these dancers except me. I had went off and lived by the Napa area and worked for the government, and I kind of got lost. But I always had you in my heart. But you guys found me through social media. I went on your website and I wanted to see what was going on with you, and I see this picture, and
There
I
you are.
I was in tears. I was in tears. I said, you kept me in your heart this whole time. And this is what I mean about the love that you share.
sometimes we go through all of our pictures and we just, oh, remember this one, remember this child. And
Yes. You know, I encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. I encourage you to bring in those broken children, because there's not enough of that, Linda. And you are a mother to millions, and so many.
I love this is what I get to do. It's something that I chose, and I loved going to the studios every day. I love making costumes. I love everything that goes along with it. And it's not always easy, but
You bet. Your schedule is grueling, and you know, we were talking about how, you know, sometimes you don't have any rest. And you keep going, you know, and you don't have too many breaks. You maybe have a little bit break in January, but you have show after show. And these are big shows. These are not small shows. Sometimes you have...
sometimes we do 3 shows a night.
And you have quite a bit of dancers. What we showed today was a small group because of the studio space, but your dance troupe is huge. How big is it?
More than 300.
Amazing. And have you ever performed all together?
I think the biggest time that we performed was, well, at the fair last week. I think we took 80-something dancers to dance.
Can you tell us about your competitions, like the one in Tahiti, like the one in LA last week? Can you tell us?
Last week we took soloists to Anaheim. This week we're going to be in Stockton for one, but our dancers don't know yet. But
Really?
we try to compete every 3 years. This January we're going to compete in a big way. Wow! Probably more than 200 dancers in the LA area.
And you're bringing dancers from the Fresno area. Some of them are not Tahitian to compete in Tahiti. I mean, that's quite a feat. I mean, you have to have some kind of
compete
valor.
in something called the Fa'areira'a. I hope I said that correctly. It's something that Coco Hota Hota, who is our dance master, puts on in Tahiti. But we love Tahiti. Sometimes we go just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't
And
blame you.
Whoever wants to go, we take them. And we go to Morea, and the next time we go, we're going to Bora Bora.
The next time you go, I'm going with you.
Yay!
Can you tell us what's coming up for your group?
We have, the next biggest thing is our recital. It goes on for 4 or 5 days, and it's from the 12th to I think the 16th. We have it at the VFW Hall, and every night we divide up the group into 4 or 5 groups, and every night, that way we can get, everybody gets a chance to dance with their group, the group that they dance with during the week. And they come and they have dinner and show, and their parents get to come watch them. They get new clothes, and in our group, you never have to buy costumes.
You've always had big visions. Can you tell me the biggest vision you have for this group that you have not done yet? And that's a tough question because you've done a lot.
What we all look forward to is to someday having our own piece of land. Wow. And where we can have our studios, where our children are safe.
Yes.
Right now, we always worry that they're going to run in the road because we teach in an industrial area.
I see. I see.
All of us. It's so funny that you said that, because if you ask almost anybody in our studio, if they're talking about, oh, I wish I could win the lottery, the first thing they say is not, I'm going to buy a car or I'm going to buy a new home. They say, I want to buy a place where your studio can be
You bet.
like a big center. And that's the first thing that I always think of.
It's not far-fetched. There's millionaires out there watching. We don't know who's watching. We don't know who has a couple $1 million sitting out there in their bank accounts.
We just need a couple of acres.
That's right. Nothing is far-fetched. A couple acres and a studio, and I think that's a wonderful dream. You know, I think you're going to accomplish that dream, Linda. I want to thank you today for
If
coming.
not my children.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have no doubt. Everything you've dreamt of has come true by the grace of God. I want to thank you. Diamonds and Pearls wants to thank you for coming out today. This has been a pleasure reminiscing with you. I hope it's not the last time you come back.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
You are close and dear to my
Thank you
heart.
so much for this picture.
That is just a little bit of love of what you've given to me, and hopefully I'll have more surprises for you as you come next time.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us on Diamonds and Pearls, and I hope you have a blessed day. Aloha.
And we danced as the Hawaiian music filled the air. Hold me, hold me, hold me tight. My niligue. Kiss me one more time. E honey, honey, my name. My heart skipped a beat that night upon the beach. For I'm in love with the hopaholic girl of my dreams. palm trees, 'neath the stars above. I looked into her eyes as the tourists were strolling by, and we danced as the old Hawaiian music filled the air. Hold me, hold me, hold me tight, my lili'ue. Kiss me one more time. Te honi honi mai nei, te honi honi mai nei. My heart skipped a beat that night upon the beach, for I'm in love with the Hopaholi girl of my dreams. Oh yeah, I'm in love with the Hopaholi girl of my dreams. One more time, I'm in love with the Hopaholi girl of my dreams.